Welcome to beautiful Uptown Greenwood. This is Oktoberfest, presented by our friends at Northland Communications. We want to thank everybody that's here. We've got a number of vendors here tonight. We want to thank Rock Presbyterian Church. Make sure that you stop by. I think they've got some lemonade. Buena Vista Cuban Cafe. Montague's has got some German cuisine for Oktoberfest. Palmetto Peanuts. Howard's is back there with a German beverage. So check that out. Millhouse is also here with some pizza. If you haven't seen the Kids City planning area, make sure that you check that out. Your kids will enjoy that, planning for a future city and where buildings will go. Rolling into that, this is October is National Planning Month, and so planning has been very important for the city of Greenwood. We began a city center master plan in 2003, and so today we are honored to have a special guest with us, Miss Kara Drain. She is a certified planner from the Catawba Council of Governments in Rock Hill. She's also a board member of the American Planning Association, and so I'm going to introduce her to come to the stage, tell you a little bit about the American Planning Association and what they do.
Well, good evening. Good evening. I'm going to lower that just a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I'm so pleased to be here this evening on behalf of the American Planning Association. Our APA president is Cynthia Bowen, and as Charlie said, I'm on the member of the APA Board of Directors. We also have a Board of Commissioners, which is our professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners. So welcome to Uptown Greenwood's Great Places in America celebration. Through the Great Places in America program, the American Planning Association each year singles out and celebrates streets, neighborhoods, and public spaces because of their strong sense of place, interesting and unique characteristics, leadership of local officials, and support and participation of residents. Since the program was started a decade ago, APA has designated 275 great places in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. So Uptown Greenwood becomes the 6th great place that's been designated in the state of South Carolina. So others in the state that are designated include Main Street, Greenville, Beaufort Historic District, and Charleston has 2 great streets, Broad and King, and also a great public space, Waterfront Park. But Uptown Greenwood joins 4 other neighborhoods across the country that have been designated this year. And those include Seward in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the heart of Missoula in Missoula, Montana, Over the Ryan in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Pearl in San Antonio, Texas. So if you're interested in learning about any of these great places, that's available on APA's website, which is planning.org/greatplaces. So I wanted to just spend a few minutes of the program to tell you what is so significant about Uptown Greenwood from a planning perspective. And I'll tell you, it's a lot. You have done a lot of work, and you were singled out as one of South Carolina's gems because of several items, and those include redeveloping your railways into magnificent green space and tree canopy, creating a sense of place for the community, and preserving the historic character while modernizing your buildings for today's uses. So Uptown Greenwood, your beginnings, of course, are tied to the railroad that was established in the 1850s, and the neighborhoods and commercial buildings that surrounded that. Of course, that was what happened when the city grew. But when the railroads disappeared over a century later in the early 80s, your city leaders began the transformation of Uptown from a vast square of transportation routes into a connected civic center. So as the railways were removed, there was plans were made to have landscaping of native trees. And that's what you have today, which is provides exceptional tree shade for residents and visitors alike. So you turn the widest main street in the world into a park-like environment. Charlie mentioned the City Center Master Plan from 2003, and that was a collaborative effort, and I've met some of you here tonight from those organizations, but you had over 13 local organizations and community residents who together identified opportunities to extend the improvements on Main Street and also to develop a unique city center district. And so as you work to implement that plan, many of those recommendations, of course, are what the result you have today. And some of those items include your great plazas, your brick-lined sidewalks, and all the parks that you have. So as I mentioned, Uptown Greenwood has some outstanding architecture and cultural amenities. From the creation of the Board of Architectural Review, to the establishment of the Uptown Overlay District, to the adoption of the Rehabilitated Historic Property Special Tax Assessment, you have been able to keep your historic fabric and also preserve and rehabilitate those structures. But to me, some of the best things about Uptown Greenwood are those green spaces, your beautiful landscaping, and the unique topiaries. In the busy, hectic world that we have today, it's so wonderful to have natural resources that encourage people to experience Uptown Greenwood and the many shops, markets, and cultural amenities. One of the recently added assets is the Uptown Market, which opened in 2016. And that provides, of course, as you know, fresh, locally grown fruits, vegetables, and meats to residents up to 3 days a week. In addition to the water feature, that's such an interactive space and operates from May to September and free to the public. You also have new housing that is under development. And when complete, you'll have 20 residential units added to your existing residential units you have in Uptown Greenwood. And that is in addition to your housing that you have in your adjacent neighborhoods. And all this is surrounded by abundant sidewalks. And your sidewalks bring people to your wonderful events you have here. You have 9 annual events, such as the South Carolina Festival of Discovery, the South Carolina Festival of Flowers, Spring Fest, Oktoberfest, which we're having today, and of course, your weekly farmers market events. But thanks to your past leaders and officials that you've had and the planning that you've had here, you've had great preservation and planning, strong community commitment and engagement, and you've been able to embrace the future and preserve the past. Uptown Greenwood is not only vibrant, attractive, and livable, but you are also well suited to retain these qualities into the future. This neighborhood truly merits national recognition as a 2017 Great Neighborhood. Now I would like to invite Mayor Adams to please join me to receive your certificate honoring Uptown Greenwood. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate Kara coming all the way to present that. Thank you. Before I go any further, I want to thank each of you for coming. It would be pretty bad if we got this award and nobody showed up. Thank you, and I know you've been showing up for years. I mean, this type of thing doesn't happen without a community getting behind it. So I want to thank everybody who helped make Greenwood a great place, because it truly is a great place. We've known it for a long time, but it's super to get an award that shows the rest of America how great we are. I got a lot of people to thank on behalf of the city. We could have never gotten to where we are at Uptown Greenwood without the City Council of 2003 that adopted the city plan that started all this. And those members of the 2003 City Council were Mayor Floyd Nicholson, then Mayor, now Senator, Councilwoman Nikki Hutto, Councilwoman Linda Edwards, Councilwoman Betty Bowles, Councilman Johnny Williams, and Councilwoman Betty Turnberg, and Barbara Turnberg, excuse me, and now deceased Councilman Herb Vaughn. In 2005, that same city council passed the hospitality tax, and none of this could have happened without the hospitality tax. That has been such a funding mechanism for us that we've been able to leverage. So we are very much in debt to that city council and Mayor Nicholson. I would like to recognize our current city council. Again, Councilwoman Nikki Hutto, Councilwoman Linda Edwards, Councilwoman Betty Bowles, Councilman Ken Wiltshire, Councilman Ronnie Abels, and Councilman Matt Miller. Thank you. We've had a fantastic relationship with the county council. I don't know how many county council members are here tonight, but I want to thank them, and I especially want to thank Steve Brown, as county council chair, but also former city manager who started all of this. So we want to let's give him a big hand. He's here somewhere. We want to thank the Greenwood Commission of Public Works. We want to thank Greenwood Metropolitan District. We want to thank a great partner to the city, the Self Family Foundation. And I don't know if Frank Wyman's here, but I know Mamie I saw, and I saw Matt Self is here. And they have been tremendous. They have been a great source for Greenwood, and this could not have been possible without them. We want to thank the Uptown Development Corporation. We want to thank the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce, the Greenwood Partnership Alliance. They contributed funding, and they also had the great concept of starting this plan with Arnett Muldrow, so we very much appreciate that. We want to thank our local state delegation, Senator Floyd Nicholson, Senator Mike Gambrell, House Member Ann Parks, who I know is here, House Member Mike Pitts, House Member John McCravey. We want to thank our federal delegation, Senator Lindsey Graham, who tonight is represented by Ms. Madison Cooper, who I know is here. We want to thank the South Carolina Department of Commerce, especially Mr. Maceo Nance. They've been a great partner for us over the years. We want to thank South Carolina Department of Transportation, Mr. Kevin McLaughlin, who is here somewhere. I saw him earlier. Been a great help to us. Thank you, Kevin. We want to thank the Upper Savannah Council of Governments, Ruth LaForge, who is now retired, Trish and Artung, and Community Development Director Pam Davenport. We want to thank the Arts Center and their board of directors. We want to thank the museum, the Historic Railroad Center and their board of directors. We want to thank the Greenwood Community Theater and their board of directors. We want to thank the Greenwood County Library and the Friends of the Library. The decision to keep the library uptown was a huge gift to our uptown and a good cornerstone for us. We want to thank the Greenwood Planning Commission. We want to thank the Greenwood Board of Architectural Review. That's where I got my start. We want to thank the Greenwood Regional Visitors and Tourism Committee. I wish I had time to thank all of the private investors who have helped invest in our uptown. We thank you. I don't have time to name them. We also want to thank our farmers and the VKRF Rasmussen Foundation. They helped that uptown market right there. It wouldn't happen without them. We've got a lot of great engineering and architectural support over the years. Davison Floyd, Furman Architects, DSP Architects. Thank you. We want to thank our city staff that has worked tirelessly to make Greenwood uptown look fantastic. They bring it every day. Let's give them a hand. We want to thank CPW staff, Metro staff, South Carolina DOT staff, and the county staff that have also contributed their time and efforts. A person who really deserves thanks because this has been his baby. He has worked night and day on it. It's Charlie Baranos. Let's give him a hand. I want to thank my wife, Erica, for putting up with me and allowing me to put in all the time, and my two daughters there, Collins and Drew. Thank you. And now I'm going to get off the stage and turn this over to the big man who started it all, the man who's never met a stranger, former mayor, now Senator Floyd Nicholson. That's up, man.
Good evening. What a great evening. You know, we're here celebrating our community, our Uptown. Greenwood, Uptown being designated as a great place in America. You know, we tell in other parts of the world now, we already knew that Greenwood was a great place. And the reason why it's so great is because of each one of you. The people is what makes a community or Uptown. We are an inclusive Uptown and community. We include everyone. You know, I think back years ago when you had the bypass being developed, a lot of places wanted to move out to the bypass. And we began to come together and say, hey, if we are going to survive as a nice community, you have to have a vibrant Uptown. Everyone cannot leave Uptown and go out to the bypass. We have to have a vibrant Uptown if we're going to maintain it. And that's where the ball started rolling. We started bringing people in, all aspects, to get ideas of what we needed to do to maintain our vibrant Uptown. And we did it. You know, just think back, years ago, after 5 o'clock on Friday, Uptown Greenwood was a ghost town until Monday morning. But now, you come through, you see cars everywhere, all the time. And it's due to the planning and the visionaries that we had who wanted to get involved to make sure that we maintain a vibrant Uptown and we maintain good activities Uptown for the future. And when that started, then we had people want to come back Uptown. And this is what has made it so important, the growth of how we work together to make things happen here in our community. So each one of you are to be commended for what you've done to make sure that we maintain a vibrant Uptown, but most of all, that we are recognized, not only in the state, but throughout the United States as being a great place in America. So I just want to thank each one of you for coming out. I want to thank each one of you for doing your part to make sure that we are a great place, not only now, but in the future. Thank you, and may God bless you.
I did also want to recognize Celia Myers, who's with the South Carolina Planning Association. She's here tonight, so we want to thank her for coming over from Anderson. To celebrate this, we put together a little reflection, a short video that we're all going to get to see. It's a few minutes long. It's by Story Reel Productions. Story Reel Productions is Mr. David Holloway. So we wanted one thing that I do when I look back at the past, I like seeing photos and documentation of how you got there, and so this video documents how we got here. So enjoy. Thank you very much. After the video, we will have music followed by the Transit Vocal Band.
Uptown Greenwood, South Carolina, is one of 15 designees to receive the Great Places in America designation for 2017 by the American Planning Association. Through the implementation of the 2003 Greenwood City Center Master Plan, Uptown Greenwood is one of the best success stories in downtown redevelopment in South Carolina.
We came to the realization that if you're going to be an effective community, you have to have a vibrant uptown or downtown community. So we all began to come together and come up with a common vision of what we wanted for Uptown Greenwood, and we came up with the City Master Plan.
Once a community divided by hundreds of feet of railroad tracks and then blacktop, Uptown Greenwood has reemerged as a successful regional hub.
Things are a lot easier once you have that plan. So there was never any real dissension about what was going to happen. It was on the plan to begin with. The other key aspect was we had hospitality taxes had already been passed by Senator Nicholson and his council, and we couldn't have done any of this revitalization without leveraging hospitality taxes. Other key people or players were the Self Family Foundation. They've been there all along. They actually helped fund the initial plan. They helped fund the federal building, which we're standing in, which was really the first revitalization key to really you could see come up out of the ground was the federal building.
At the same time, we were developing a city center master plan for the revitalization of the town center. And key to that revitalization was to repurpose the old federal building into an arts center. Through a major gift from the Self Family Foundation, we were able to repurpose the federal building into an arts center, which helped leverage additional public and private dollars to renovate the theater and the museum. We were able to establish a arts and cultural district for the town center.
Having been born and raised in New York City, I'm very accustomed to art and culture, and it is very, very satisfying to me to come to a town that my parents were born and raised in, and to be able to partake of some of those activities right here at home. The Art Center is a real mecca for this town. It is a focal point for this town, and it draws a lot of outside visitors for the exhibits, as well as the events that go on throughout the spring and summer in Greenwood.
The repurposing of the federal building was a catalyst to raise additional monies, public and private monies. It's probably another $12 million was leveraged in public dollars and private dollars to streetscaping and also facade improvements to local businesses. As a result of our investment over the last 10 years, we have seen a remarkable improvement in economic activity in the city center.
We had some early pioneers that came out and invested their money at the beginning. A real significant one was John Holloway. He put his money down there on Maxwell Avenue.
In 2007, I purchased a building in Uptown Greenwood on Maxwell Avenue at a time when the whole block was dilapidated. But I saw the potential of this building and the commitment the city was making to Greenwood and small businesses, and it has been a win-win situation for me moving my business to Uptown Greenwood.
Really at the time, there wasn't too much happening at all. John Holloway had a photography studio, and that was really pretty much the only finished building of sorts on Maxwell Avenue. Main Street itself didn't have too terribly much going on. There was a few restaurants that were sort of trying to get going. There was a little bit of traffic, but really not a lot of foot traffic. But you could sort of tell that there were a lot of things in the works. And when we bought this building, the power lines were being buried. The road was being redone, and the sidewalks were being reworked. So you could tell that there was a longer-term plan here.
The town's plan turned its widest main street in the world into an attraction by focusing on creating a park-like environment with their surplus of space and adapting nearby historic buildings for modern use.
My sights were really set on Uptown Greenwood, and for one main reason, and that was the character, the charm, the history that you really cannot find anywhere else. I knew that I wanted to set my business apart and not just be any old clothing store. I needed to give my customers a special customer service experience, a special shopping experience, and one that they couldn't find anywhere else. And that's what you find here in Uptown Greenwood.
The city master plan has been amazing, and in particular in the past decade, we have added over 130 trees to our already beautiful canopy. Down Main Street, we have the Darlington oaks, which are a mature species of oak tree. And then the other trees that we've added are ginkgos and maples and elm trees, which has just made it a beautiful place to stroll, and even people jog through here, ride their bicycle through here. So it's a great place to be.
Just start building on it, one on another. You get momentum, then you get more people, you get more dollars. My favorite project is the farmers market splash pad, and that took a while, took a little planning. But man, I'm so happy every time I walk by and see those kids.
Years ago, Greenwood started out with a plan to revitalize our downtown, what we call our Uptown Greenwood area. It is the leadership, the dedication to that plan that has allowed Greenwood to become what it is today, and will allow Greenwood to continue to grow and become a more family and community-oriented uptown area.
I think the next thing that helps make Greenwood a great place will be to get more full-time residents living up here. We're seeing it already. We're seeing some nice condos being constructed. So I think more and more people will be coming up here to live full-time.
We chose to invest in Uptown Greenwood due to the promise and revitalization that has been shown here in the past 5 to 10 years.
By modernizing the downtown while maintaining the historic character of Main Street, Uptown Greenwood truly embodies its mission of embracing the future and preserving the past.
What the city's committed and small business owners have done in the Uptown is really, truly amazing, and every year it just keeps getting better and better.
Best thing about living in Greenwood is the wonderful quality of life we have and the community leadership, which has made Greenwood one of the hidden jewels in South Carolina.
I think it's a great city on the rise, a little diamond in the rough, and should be greater, even more so in time.
A great place to be, to have perfect access to a lot of different things that the Southeast has to offer. Put all of those things together, it really makes Greenwood a great place.
The atmosphere, the people, they're great people uptown here, as well as our neighbors next door to us. When we first came here in April, they came with open arms. Not only our neighbors, but everyone in the community has come in, shook our hand, and gave us words of encouragement.
The people is what really makes it great here.
When you accept the diversity that you have in the community and willing to listen to the input and make sure that we are making Greenwood a better place for everyone. I think that's what has made Greenwood great. And I think that's one thing that has kept me in Greenwood all of my life, to see how Greenwood has been transformed to look out for the betterment of all of its citizens.
We thank the American Planning Association for this honor and look forward to continuing to shape a great future. To learn more about Uptown Greenwood, visit uptowngreenwood.com.